Hi everybody, so welcome back to my channel. So today I have Sarah Kleiner here with me, aka Carnivore Yogi. Hello Sarah.
Hi.
So welcome to my channel. It's an absolute honor to have you here today with me.
Yeah, thank you so much for having me.
Of course, so Sarah / Carnivore Yogi is one of my main inspirations for starting the carnivore diet and for me starting up my own YouTube channel. So this is a great honor for me. And this is also my first interview to have here. So to have it with yourself is an absolute honor for me. So thank you for agreeing to this.
Yeah, you're welcome. Absolutely.
Great. So for those who may not know much about you, do you mind just sort of introducing yourself, give a bit of an introduction so everyone can get a feel of who you are?
Yeah, sure. I have been on the carnivore diet for almost 2 years now and started my YouTube channel a little over a year ago. And I started my Instagram right about the time that I started the diet. And it was kind of a joke. I wasn't really planning on getting people to follow me. And I thought it was like a funny kind of tongue in cheek name. And that I just started getting people following me, and I was like, okay, well, this is interesting. But I've really just been reporting my journey on Instagram and on YouTube over the last couple of years, and I've had a lot of great health benefits. So I've just been sharing a lot of that with everyone, so that I'm just a regular person, yoga teacher, mom, wife, all that stuff, and just telling people life on the carnivore diet, pretty much.
Great, thank you. So I want to discuss with you about sort of mentality and mindset whilst dieting. Now, everyone has sort of a different experience when it comes to dieting. Some people struggle more than others. And so what I would like to know is, so how do you keep yourself in check and stop yourself from sort of veering away from the way you eat?
Honestly, I mean, I'm 41 now. And so I really don't know that I could have done this 10 years ago, maybe.
Okay.
But my why was very strong when I started the carnivore diet. I actually just recorded a video that I'll put up tomorrow. So I don't know when you'll put this up, but it may or may not already be up on my channel
Yeah.
by the time you put this up. But I just did a whole video about reproductive health.
Okay.
So right before I started the carnivore diet, I had gone to the doctor. I got an ultrasound. I had a lot of cysts on my ovaries, and that was really troubling to me. And she was like, I'm not really that worried. This is pretty common, but it was very kind of painful and uncomfortable.
Yeah.
So I had that as like a major health concern. I also had so much joint pain that I wasn't able to practice yoga the way that I enjoyed practicing yoga. So having a very strong why, and your why, it can be weight loss, but I find that if people are just doing this for weight loss, it's not going to be a reason enough to stick with it, because you can lose weight
Yeah.
other ways. So when I started carnivore, I really didn't have a lot of weight to lose. It was more so that I really wanted to improve my health. And so having a very strong why and then giving it enough time.
Yeah.
So,
I agree with that.
I
Yeah.
was like, I'll give it 30 days. I can do anything for 30 days. And then at the end of the 30 days, I just felt so good
Yeah.
that I wanted to continue going, which I think that happens to a lot of us. And so my reason to continue doing it has just remained for my health. And I think that people really need to get honest with themselves about why they want to do a carnivore diet,
Yeah.
and developing that mindset is going to be primary.
Yeah, I fully agree with the whole like having that why are you doing it. Myself, it was to for mental health reasons and also to help with my health as well. I had thyroid issues, so I had been on all the medications that they usually throw you on. It was just sort of kicking the can down the road for me. So I completely agree with that. So I'm kind of one of those strange anomalies when it comes to dieting, where I can sort of just switch off completely. It's like for me, if I was say, right, I don't know if you've seen one of my previous videos about dairy. I know you've done one before. I just
Mhm.
switched it off, and I was like, right, that's it. Dairy is done.
Yeah.
So, did you find it as easy as that, or was there certain foods that were challenging for you to sort of quit?
With me, I'm the kind of person that if I don't put it in my body, I don't crave it.
Okay, yeah,
Um, So when I first started, I wasn't perfect. I messed up a couple of times,
Yeah.
and it was like, I realized that if I kept on messing up, then I was going to keep craving those foods. So, anytime that I would use a sweetener, put anything sweet in my mouth, that will trigger sugar cravings. And I'll talk to people that are doing carnivore and they're like, well, I'm still having sugar cravings. I'm like, are you using anything sweet? Are you using sweeteners in your coffee?
Yeah.
Are you drinking like diet soda? Are you chewing gum, sugar-free gum? And then even people sometimes I've switched my toothpaste because that was even a trigger. So just
Okay.
removing all those triggers. And I think that if you don't have those in your body, you're not going to crave them. And dairy is the same way. I find that if I like decide to have some cheese one day, I'll like trick myself into it. And I've been off dairy for a while now, but um, if I tell myself one day we can just have dairy today, we can have some cheese today, then I like really want it the next day
Yeah.
and the next day. And then it just is like a month later. And then I'll have like a flare of eczema, and
Yeah.
I'm like, why do I have eczema? Oh yeah, you've been eating cheese for a month and your body is like telling you that's a bad idea.
Yeah.
Um, so I'm just the kind of person, if I just stay away from things, then I'm not going to crave them.
Yeah. I was interested to talk about dairy there. So I thought I'd try a little bit of cheese, and it was quite a small amount. And I got a bit of eczema come up around this area, and it took quite a while for it to go away. And I only had the smallest amount. I thought, so interesting how your body tells you these things, isn't it? So
Yeah, we get really sensitive. I think when we do a carnivore diet, it's an elimination diet. So
yeah.
you've taken your body down to a point where it's going to tell you what foods are okay and what foods are not okay. So I think it can be good, but you have to be careful. If you're going to try foods, you want to just do one at a time, and you want to give it a few days before you start trying to add a bunch of stuff in. So you don't want to do carnivore for a year and then decide to just go off and eat pizza and like whatever you want to eat that could
Yeah.
be problematic.
Absolutely. Yeah. So those who may not already know about, so Sarah, your family eat a different way to how you eat. So how do you like stick to the way that you eat when sort of around you there's sort of those maybe temptations, or there's different foods coming into the house as well?
Yeah, I mean, I don't typically keep foods in the house that are tempting to me for them.
Yeah.
Um, I just don't. And they eat really healthy. My daughter eats keto,
Okay.
and my husband's pretty much paleo. So the difference between what my daughter and I eat, and what my husband eats, I usually will cook some vegetables in butter for them for dinner. I cook meat for all of us. We all eat the same meat. And then
Mhm.
I will make vegetables with butter on them for my daughter. And then like a sweet potato for my husband, usually with butter. So it's not like we don't really have a bunch of stuff in the house that's super tempting. We don't really keep fruit in the house, or
Yeah.
um, no candies or keto treats or anything like that, just because my daughter will overeat them too. And I'm like, I don't want her to have, she gets very addicted to foods. And I'm like, nope, we're just not going to have that. So it's not really that hard. And then I just started using like a meal delivery service where they
Okay. Yeah.
have pre-made meals and they ship them to me once a week. And I've been using that for the last couple of weeks, and I really have been enjoying that too. And it's keto and paleo meals. So
Oh yeah.
that's
Great.
helpful too. Yeah.
There's my other half. He eats a AIP, so autoimmune
Okay.
paleo style. So for me, it's quite similar for both of us, really. So yeah, like I tend to have what I have, and then do that for him as well, and then with the veggies and the things that he can have as well, just to sort of help him out. So
Yeah.
I think it can be done, but I think like so I myself work in an office, and there's always temptations coming
Oh
around
yes.
there. There's always a reason to have cake for some reason. So what would you say to people who are in that environment, who are trying to stick to a diet, but that's just all around them?
Well, don't go to the break room.
Yeah.
I haven't worked in an office for like, gosh, almost 10 years now.
Yeah.
Before I started kind of pretty much teaching yoga and being home with my daughter, I worked in an office for many years. And I would just have to, and I've always kind of dieted and stayed away from cakes. But I would find if I would start on those foods, then it would just be like an obsession, and I would be in the break room like every hour getting more. So just don't go in there. If you go outside and like take a walk, do that. Yeah, anything that you can do to just not go there.
Just sort of break that. Yeah.
Yeah.
So what advice again would you give to somebody who's considering a new diet but worried that they might not be able to stick in it, you know, in work, at home, all that sort of stuff? Would you sort of say what you said before with the trying to break that habit cycle?
Yeah, I mean, I think just number one, establishing your why is
Hmm.
really important. And then just don't, if you're going to do carnivore, if you don't have any major health issues, maybe go into it a little slower, I think. Just start eliminating things
Yeah.
till you get to more of a carnivore. So I see some people that have success doing like what I did, which is like rip off the band-aid and just jump right in,
Yeah.
you know? But then I see other people that can benefit from like slowly tapering down, you know, starting to eat more meat in their diet, and then phasing out the other foods. And that can be an easier transition for people as well.
Yeah, definitely. For myself, I started as a on paleo. I kind of
Mm-hmm.
then went in and out of paleo keto. I was doing the two of them, and then I think it was probably January this year. I was just like, I'm just going to go for it now. After watching
Yeah.
your videos, after my other half as well introducing me quite heavily to it, I was like, I'm just going to do this and see what happens. That was the big thing for me. And you know, about 9 months down the road now, I'm still loving it. I've become more carnivore. That makes sense. So I eliminated dairy and other things as well. And yeah, it's I think like you said, having the why as well is a really important thing.
Yeah,
So
definitely.
you mentioned that you're a yoga instructor,
Mhm.
and veganism is obviously very common in the yoga community. I know that you used to be a vegan yourself. So do you find it difficult setting out on a carnivore within that environment?
Yeah, I don't really talk about it a lot with a lot of my colleagues, honestly. And then the pandemic has like really changed things
Yeah.
where I'm not even teaching in a studio. I'm not really around a lot of other yoga people, to be quite honest. But it is definitely something that a lot of people that do yoga and meditate do, is to be vegan or vegetarian.
Yeah.
But the longer that I've stayed carnivore and it's helped my health, the more I've tried to really investigate like why and where did this come from. And what I'm finding is that it's kind of something that is like a game of telephone. It's been handed down and handed down and handed down. It doesn't really have a ton of basis. You know, it was vegetarianism was used as a way to control people, um, so they wouldn't be strong enough to fight back.
Yeah.
That's kind of where it came from, and it got woven into yoga. And so um, you know, it's something that I try to talk about on my channel to dispel that myth of like you can absolutely do yoga, practice meditation, and eat meat. It's not it's not a conflict.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I find like within my work environment as well, obviously the conventional wisdom obviously takes precedence a lot of the time, especially with people who I work with. And when I go in and I'm eating the way I'm eating it, they just don't understand it. And I try to explain it to some, but it just doesn't sort of register. And I think, well, I'm not going to like try and preach this to you. I know that it's working well for me. This is kind of the reason why I wanted to kind of follow in your footsteps and do a YouTube channel and sort of like just share my experience, you know. And if they decide to watch that and understand it a bit more, then that's up to them. But I think, you know, the workplace for me, I feel like it's not my place to preach,
Yeah.
and I'm just going to be the example as such and say like I'm doing well. I feel like I'm thriving on it. So if they look at me and go, maybe I want a bit of that, they know where I am. They can come and speak to me about it. I think that's the better sort of mentality to have on it, I think.
Definitely. I think attraction is much better than promotion with
Yeah,
anything, you know, that
definitely. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
So I've got so I put out some questions with my Instagram followers, and I've got a question here that I thought was quite interesting. So it says, what treats do you give yourself on the diet? So what is the thing that kind of like that you can sort of give yourself as a treat now and again?
I really enjoy things like the egg yolk pudding.
Yeah,
That's a really big treat to me. Buying a special kind of salt that I like. I love the like Celtic coarse sea salt. That's kind of a treat to me.
yeah,
Um, Bacon is a treat. I don't eat a ton of bacon, but sometimes I'll just really enjoy some good bacon.
yeah,
So I look at treats differently, like pork, Iberico pork fat. Like the Iberico pork belly is expensive. I buy those. They're a lot more expensive than regular pork belly, but the fat is really tasty and delicious. So that's a treat. So I just look at like what's a treat like a little bit differently, and do stuff like buy massage for myself or
yeah,
um, buy like a nice bath bomb or something that I really enjoy. I look at that stuff more as a treat or some essential oil that I enjoy, um, rather than always trying to look at food as the treat.
yeah. I think that's so important. I think like again, that comes to the mentality of changing your mindset about what a treat actually is. And I completely agree. Like I look at food now as more of a fuel.
Yes.
It's what I need to be healthy, and that's it. Like I don't look at it as entertainment or
Mhm.
as the treat side of things. So I mean, the egg pudding is absolutely delicious. I will link your video as well down below about the egg pudding because I do enjoy that, and also your ice cream as
Oh yeah,
well.
the ice cream's really good too. Yeah.
Yeah, I do enjoy that. I kind of I modified it a little bit by using butter in it as
Oh,
well.
nice.
Because I don't know if have you ever heard of a thing called clotted cream? I don't know if you have that over there.
We don't have it over here. I've heard of it, but we don't really have it here.
Yeah, so I find it tastes like that, and I love the taste of that anyway. So
Hmm.
yeah, I'm still mastering it. It's still not. It's still in a work in progress. But once I master it, I'll let you know. And
Yeah, definitely make a video.
yeah,
Absolutely.
definitely. Yeah, but I will link your video in. So if you guys want to have a look at those, I'll link them down below as well. So what is next for Carnivore Yogi? What's on the horizon for you?
Um, I'm just gonna keep doing what I'm doing. I'm thinking about doing some stress management groups
Yeah.
coming up soon to help people get through the holidays and stay carnivore. I'll even allow keto people to come in too, just people that need support
Yeah.
sticking to whatever they've chosen to do through the holidays, and then possibly doing some meditation, some yoga, giving people some stress management techniques, different ways to do breathing. So I'm
Okay.
looking at designing that and releasing that in the next week or so. So that'll be November and December of this year.
Okay, that's
um,
great.
but that's what I'm planning on doing right now.
And are
Yeah.
you doing that online at the moment? Will you be
Mhm.
doing that online? Yeah.
Yeah, I'm gonna have it so that they can either do it on Facebook, but if they're not
Okay.
on Facebook, they'll get like a daily email with all the stuff that I post on emails
Okay, great.
on the Facebook group. So yeah,
Okay, great.
yeah.
Yeah. Have you got that? Is that Facebook group set up already, or?
Not yet. I'm gonna work on it probably tomorrow and this weekend so that I can announce it and put it out Monday. So
Okay,
yeah,
great. As soon as
yeah.
it is, I'm happy to share some of that information out
Oh,
as
thank
well.
you. I
So yeah,
appreciate that. Yeah.
absolutely, yeah. And I think that kind of links into thinking about stress as well. That's such a big factor on diet, I think. And
Mhm.
stress tends to be the thing that people fail upon diets. And I think it's
Yes.
so interesting that you said that it's kind of fit quite well, actually.
Yeah.
So, so where can viewers find you? Whereabouts are you? What sort of platforms are you on?
Yeah, I'm on Instagram as carnivore.yogi and
Yeah.
then on YouTube as just carnivore yogi. You can search it and find me there. Yeah.
Great. And I'll link them in down below as well so people can find you. But
Thank you.
thank you so much for joining me today. I really, really do appreciate it. I hope you enjoyed it as much as I did.
You're welcome. Thank you for
But
having me.
yeah, of course. And so yeah, I'll be putting this out soon. And hopefully we can have a chat again in the future.
Definitely. Awesome.
Great. Thank you very much.
You're welcome.
Take care now.
You too.